Welcome to another episode, another podcast of the Richard Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast, where we cover sports from MLB, NBA, NFL, and I missed the league. But we do college football too. We got my host at the bottom, Richard Hicks Jr.
How we doing, boys? Good to see you.
We got Carson Wentz himself. Got
yes, sir.
Mr. Ryan Shedd up in Syracuse. Go Big Orange.
That's right, baby.
Behind the shadow is I'm Idris Salam. I had me eye surgery, so I'm looking like Nick Fury right now. So y'all forgive me.
Hey man, we could have messed with them. They're like with the voice, but you see two guys not talking. You know, it's kind of how you keep them off balance around here.
That's right, man. Deep throat, man. Not what y'all thinking, y'all. Not talking about Linda Lovelace. Talk about the spot.
Shit, I want to shout out I want to shout out somebody, but I mean, need to shut up. Oh man! All right, Idris Salam, Ryan Shedd. I am your host, Richie. We are in the building. It is the second part, Week 13 NFL preview, and I must say, guys, heavyweight battle going down in the city of brotherly love. This is going to be a war. It's a rematch of the NFC title game. Let's get it. 8-3 are the 49ers traveling to Philly at 10-1. Brock Purdy leads the versatile 49er offense into the link against the NFL's best team right now. Rematch of last year's NFC title game. Last year wasn't much of a contest. It actually forced a new rule implementation, which I think was definitely appropriate, where you don't have to have a third quarterback count against your roster. That is basically the Brock Purdy rule. For those of you who don't know, Brock Purdy was injured. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't cleared. They didn't have a third guy there. Actually, they did. It was
Josh Johnson.
That's not a quarterback, all due respect.
Yeah.
And that's how it played out. The Niners literally had to run just a vanilla play. It was very unfair, very unfortunate. And to be honest with you, my personal opinion is that the 49ers were better than the Eagles last year. That didn't matter, though. They have a chance to prove it. Matchup, star-studded. This is going to be good stuff. Ryan Shedd, you are our resident 49er fan. Take it away.
Yeah, I think that this game is going to be the game of the year. I mean, I know a lot of people were on the Eagles and the Chiefs because of the Super Bowl rematch. I just don't think the Chiefs are as good as the 49ers, to be honest with you. So I go back to this game being the game of the season, at least so far. And you know, I think that the 49ers are looking for a little bit of revenge here. You know, it goes without saying as far as, you know, George Kittle and, you know, Deebo Samuel, all those guys that just felt cheated. And it wasn't anything the Eagles didn't do or did wrong. I mean, you know, Kyle Shanahan made a strange play call while having a third string tight end trying to block Hassan Reddick on a freaking pass play. You know, I don't see that happening again. And I think Kyle hopefully learned his lesson on that. But as far as the game goes, I mean, the 49ers have been looking pretty good. So is Philadelphia. Philadelphia seems to be more of a second half team. They've also been on the field a lot the last few games. I really like the 49ers to win the game. I'm not trying to be a homer here. I just really think that they do have a better team. They have been playing really well as of late, and they're healthy. They are missing a couple of pieces, just like everybody else, you know, especially on the defensive side with Hufanga missing on the back.
Did you call me?
Niners. You heard me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And no, that's right. And Oren Burks now missing too. So they are missing a couple of pieces. But I do like the 49ers to pull off this win. I think Brock Purdy's going to be just fine. I know the Link's a tough place to play, man. Philly is freaking phenomenal. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. I mean, this is going to be a dogfight. It's going to be one in the trenches. Ever since the Niners got Chase Young, you know, they've had 15 sacks in the last 3 games. They're coming. I mean, but the best offensive line in football, Philadelphia Eagles. So we'll see how they do. And the best running, scrambling quarterback, I would say Josh Allen, but man, Jalen Hurts, man. I mean, he won the game last week with his legs too. I mean, they got to contain him.
Yeah, it was a
They got to contain
combination.
him. And I don't know if I don't know if they're going to be able to, but we'll see.
I think you have the athletes on defense because when I think about it, well, you made a good point that Philadelphia has been a second half team. While Buffalo's defense doesn't rank in the same direction as the 49ers, the Cowboys, other elite teams right now, they did make some plays. More plays than I think a lot of people would have expected them to make, particularly early on.
The X factor in this game, Richie, is going to be the 49ers linebacking core, a.k.a. Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner, because they're going to be spying on Jalen Hurts. Because
somebody's going to have to keep him at bay.
Exactly my point. There you go. That's it. If they can, the forward can rush and they can close that pocket, but if he scrambles out, that's going to be Dre and that's going to be Fred Warner. If they can't stop him, Philly's going to win this game. That simple. I mean, they got.
I tend to agree. I think
Jalen Hurts.
Listen, I've been saying this since when Hurts first started in this league, and he is a much better quarterback than when he first started.
Oh yeah.
But having said that,
phenomenal.
The way to beat these guys, you want Hurts to throw more than he has to. You want to take away the Philly running game, and not just Hurts. You also want to take whoever is going to be manning back there, whether it's Gainwell, whether it's Boston Scott sighting. And obviously, Swift is the most talented, most versatile of the three.
Swift can. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you good, brother. Point to be made is this is going to be Philly's best challenge. Philly is good. Don't get me wrong. But I must admit, for a 10-1 team, I've never seen a team so fortunate. The Justin Jefferson about to be a touchdown into the end zone. They sneaked by New England early on. This was a different New England team. Yeah, they were much healthier. The two shootouts with the Washington Commanders. I've been saying it for weeks, guys. Have they peaked too early? Time will reveal that. But my concern, if I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, is that secondary going to be able to keep points off the board in bunches during the playoffs? Because it seems like they do have a propensity for giving up the big play. And, I mean, you've seen what happened with Gabe Davis running essentially the wrong route. I mean, all he had to do was kind of center his body in, and it was just a complete miscommunication. That's your ball game. That's a second loss of the season.
Well, go to that Chiefs game, too. MVS had that touchdown. Just dropped it.
Indeed.
And that's the boss right there. Should have won it. Philly won the game.
I mean, sometimes they say it's better to be lucky than good, but this is not sustainable if that's how they're going to always win. Offensively, I have nothing bad to say about this Philadelphia Eagles team. They are the total package on offense.
Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, their offensive line, DeAndre Swift, and they throw a Gainwell and Boston Scott in there.
What I love about this,
great team.
What I truly love about this is it's the Eagles O-line against the outstanding linebacking corps of the 49ers. I think that is your key right there. Idris, what are your thoughts on this matchup? And then we're going to give you our finals.
Yeah, basically what Shed said. I think that linebacker core is going to have to stay home and watch Hurts because you know what he does. You know, the backfield can run the ball. They can throw the ball to Devontae Smith. Brown is just a beast out there. The old line is going to push you back. But I think with Philadelphia, they can't afford to be lackadaisy like they've been, coming back at the end and getting behind like 10 points against Buffalo. You know, Buffalo had their chances. With San Francisco, they're the type that if you give them a chance, they're going to hurt you. They're not going to make stupid mistakes. Purdy, you know, he's thrown a few picks over the past few weeks. However, the guy is not losing games for no one. You know, CMC's going to do what he does. I just say Philly has been lucky. It might be resilience. They might just be coming on strong at the end. Like, hey, let's just keep it close. But like I say, against Frisco, they're going to have to be on top of the game from start to finish. It's hard to play in Philly, but Frisco's proven they can travel and they don't get rattled. So I'm going to go with Frisco in this. Update on the Pac-12. Washington up 20-3. Oregon's on the 25-yard line,
already.
driving 54 seconds. Yeah, In fact, that's fourth down. Third down.
It's kind of what I expected. I didn't think they'd be up by 3 scores, though. That I did not expect. So your final, Idris, what you got here?
Whew. Man, I'm gonna go 30-27 Frisco.
All right.
I
it's
think
funny. I'm in the same neighborhood. I'm actually in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a situation where I think the Eagles will be playing from behind most of the time. I think Frisco's going to jump on top of them, and then they're going to have to claw their way back.
I'll tell you why I think the 49ers have no issue going into a hostile environment like that.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the crap out of the Pittsburgh Steelers on one of the toughest days to win a game there, which is opening day. Yeah. They walked into Jacksonville and basically just pillaged them. They just kicked them in the face.
Whooped them.
49ers have been consistently good everywhere. And when I look at the 49er losing streak, and the next team we're going to speak on that kind of intertwines into this, shit weather, no Debo.
Yeah.
And just one of those odd games. The 49ers are good for one of those a year. I remember, I think it was last year, opening day, that monsoon where they dropped the game to the Chicago
Bears, the worst team in the NFL, and they lost.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's correct. And I'm not implying that the Browns are the worst team, but we're going to talk about them next, and I'm going to explain a little bit about them. But as the Niners go, championship pedigree, great play calling. I think they have a better defense than Philly, and I think that's the reason why they're going to win this game. I must say, though, if I pick against the Eagles again and they win again, people are going to be like, damn, this guy really hates the Eagles. And yes, you're right, I do. But that's not why I've picked against them the last few weeks. This week, I'm going to get it right. 49ers 27, Philadelphia Eagles 23, and San Francisco wins the turnover battle 3-1.
I could see that.
Here's a nugget for you. So the team that gives up the most passing yards to tight ends, Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh, that doesn't spell right.
Who do the 49ers have at tight end?
My fantasy tight end.
So he's the people's tight end, George Kittle.
Kittles and bits. He's going
to be the tight end for King Richard, who is currently 9-3 in the Pops General Assembly.
That front four Philly is nasty. Not going to take that away from Hassan Reddick, Jalen Carter, those Fletcher Cox, those guys.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sidetrack it a little bit, but where I'm going with this, because that nugget does help with the score that I'm about to say. I do think San Francisco is going to win 27-17. I really do believe that, again, the Niners defense is better than Buffalo's. It's better than Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
It's better than all those other teams that they've played where they've barely squeaked it out, including the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit of an adversity going on here. The 49ers trying to get some little revenge and showing them that they're the better team or whatever. I'm not saying they're the better team, but I do think they win on Sunday, and that's why I picked them to win 27-17.
Dude, the 49ers were my NFC team. Preseason pick to win the conference. I got it way wrong on the AFC, but I also predicted the Jets based on Aaron Rodgers playing a full year.
Yeah, so that's why I struck out that Philly's going to be behind.
Our predictions at the beginning of the season were if everybody stayed healthy, this is what we think.
Yeah.
Obviously, that can go out the window as soon as like Justin Herbert got hurt.
But let's not forget, Aaron Rodgers anymore. Back just in time. So I might be vindicated after all at the end of it. We all got the Niners winning this thing. Philly will be catching their first conference loss if that's the case. But the thing for Philly, even with a loss, they still have a game up on these 49ers.
Yes, they do.
While they would be one game up on the Dallas Cowboys, essentially two, because that tiebreaker hasn't been decided yet. They still have to have the rematch in Dallas.
Right.
I've said it all year, or long enough to know what was going on. The 49ers will be in the title game. Just put it down. I said it.
Yeah.
The Eagles and Cowboys are going to play 3 games this year. The third game will decide who plays the San Francisco 49ers.
See, that's why I said I felt that I picked 30-27, but I think Philly will be playing from behind. I think it'll be a game of catch up with them. I think Frisco will jump out there in the whole game. When they get that 27, that'll be like a 27.
Well, that's the thing. The 49ers are the type of team that plays well with a lead
Yeah.
Whereas the Eagles, I'm kind of 50-50 on them. Granted, they have been a second-half team, and that is a great trait for any team facing down a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But when I think about some of the leaks in that secondary, and I'm not saying that the 49ers are necessarily going to beat them that way. Shed made a great point. Who the hell is going to cover Kittle?
Right.
They can't cover him.
We'll
see though. I mean, he may have
Dallas Goedert is trending towards playing. Yeah. I mean, he's trending towards playing, and McGivitz, I believe, is his name. That is your weak link on that line.
Colton McKivitz. Yep. And we also have a backup right guard in too. So
yeah.
But it's supposed to rain too, boys. So that can change everything.
The rain, in my opinion, favors the road team.
Yeah.
Possibly.
It can ground that game down and possibly slow down some of Philly's strengths. That's my opinion.
2010 Washington at halftime.
2010? Okay.
Very nice.
We got the Browns making the trip to SoFi to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Reason why I wanted to talk on the Browns first. Just get this out of the way. Just like the Seattle Seahawks are a team in the NFC that could be looking at a collapse. Mm-hmm. I believe that's what the Cleveland Browns are looking like in the AFC. And it's mainly because of the quarterback position. Joe Flacco just got dusted off, and he's going to be starting this game for the Cleveland Browns. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what he has left to offer, but I believe that he gives them the best chance to win just based on his resume.
I agree.
Because they have not been blessed with a lot right now. The injuries have just really stymied that position, and it stymied their offense because you can get away with these low-scoring wins against minimally talented offensive teams. They did it against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had one legit shootout against the Indianapolis Colts, but if you look at the Browns games, post-Nick Chubb and now post-Deshaun Watson, they are just scraping and clawing, and they are a tough team, and I respect them. But offensively, this is not going to sustain to beat anybody when it matters.
You know what? They kind of remind me of the Jets of last year.
Little bit.
Sticking around, but they just don't have a quarterback. But with Flacco, Flacco may not be who he was in Baltimore. Obviously now he probably don't have the arm. But the one thing you don't lose in football is the brain, and he's smart.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'll look for him to try to go out and win the game. It's like, look, just don't lose it for us. Manage it. We got the pieces around you. Just manage the game. Because PJ Walker and I can't remember the guy with two last names.
Yeah. I've been struggling with that. But the point is he ain't going to be playing. Deshaun's on the suspending IR. This might be Flacco's job till the end of the year.
I believe it will. And I think if he can – I think they can beat the Rams. Rams looking better. Cooper Kupp is back, But that Cleveland defense, man, that defense is who they are. And
I have a bad feeling that if Aaron Donald gets his hands on Joe Flacco.
Oh, yeah. He's going to break them.
I don't like the Browns in this one, fellas. I'm just going to be honest. I don't like them in this one. I don't think the Rams have to score a lot of points. You going Cleveland?
I'm going with Cleveland, man. I think Flacco's not going to lose the game. And they've been, PJ Walker and the other guy, I can't remember his name. They've been turning the ball over like crazy. And Flacco's not going to make those mistakes. He's smart.
I do give you that part of this, but this is what I worry about.
New guy, new system.
New guy.
Good
point. Yeah. New guy, new system. But this is also the kind of game that even if the Rams kind of play to Cleveland's style of game, I still think that they have enough on the other side. Cooper Kupp's getting healthier.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford's been staying more upright than he has earlier in the season, even going back to last year.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be a blowout by any means.
No.
But I just can't see a scenario where Joe Flacco is able to score enough points. I think the way I feel, the way I'm looking at it, and I'm being generous with Cleveland's scoring total here. 23 Rams, 17 Browns. And the only reason why I got it that close is because the Cleveland Browns got a really good defense. Championship caliber, in fact. That's why not having a quarterback right now is such a tragedy. And while you do make a good point, Idris, that Joe Flacco is not going to lose you the game, I don't think he has the tools right now at this juncture of his career to win you the game. And I definitely trust the former Super Bowl MVP more.
I'm going 23-20 Cleveland.
Super Bowl winner, I should say. Cup was the MVP.
I think they'll run the ball a lot. I'm 23-20 Cleveland.
Well,
Shed, what you got?
Here's what I got. Cleveland Browns are on the descend. Los Angeles Rams are on the ascend.
Yeah, they have a legitimate shot to sneak into the back end of the playoffs.
Just based on that, I like the Rams to win here. The Browns' biggest weakness is their run defense, and Kyron Williams has been running the heck out of the ball for the Rams. And Matthew Stafford may not be asked to do a lot, but he's also used to getting pass rush like a mofo, especially being in Detroit for all those years. So I think he's used some quick dumps to Kupp and Puka Nacua, maybe Tutu Atwell, get some Higbee in there. I like the Rams to win this game, and I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be 22-10. I like the Rams.
I got Cleveland taking one to the house on defense. That is like the only reason why I have them hitting pay dirt. That's just my opinion, though. That's how I really believe. Myles Garrett's a force. He's always a force.
But they're gonna have something for him. Like they're gonna
be frustrated
to chip him or something. Like
they're gonna do anything they have to do to make sure that he's not the guy
really
that's making Stafford's day difficult.
Yeah, I agree. But I think the Rams are on the way up and the Browns are on the way down. So
I'm also gonna. I don't even think this is that much of a hot take or a bold take. They are 7-4. I'm predicting that the Cleveland Browns completely fall out of the AFC playoffs. They're not qualifying. I know they're 3 over right now. That's my hot take on that. I'm not quite sure who's jumping in yet.
The playoffs myself. I never had them in the playoffs. So,
but I will say this: if you're correct, Idris, an 8th win would be vital to their cause. So it's going to be an interesting game. It's an interconference game. 2 teams that don't play each other very often. So in that regard, it should be a very interesting one. Unlike the one that I'm about to promote here, I mean, God, why do we even have to talk about this game?
We could make this one brief.
The Carolina Panthers at 1-10 with interim head coach situations going on, taking on the 4-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Buccaneers, if this even makes sense in my eyes, are a good 4-7. They've been competitive.
I agree. Yep.
Chris Tabor, by the way, is the new coach for the Panthers, albeit it might only be for another month or so. I look for bright spots in anything that's just bad overall. Adam Thielen is having a career resurrection.
Right.
And I don't know if it's completely smoke and mirrors because I'm like, they don't have anybody else to go to. Chuba Hubbard has been elevating his game over the last few weeks. I am going to give him some credit. Chuba, when limited duty in the past, when they formerly had CMC over there, always rose to the occasion. In that regard, I do believe that for the upset, for Carolina to win this game, you've got to be able to keep Tampa honest by being able to run the ball. But when I think about Tampa's defense, still has some of those holdovers from that Super Bowl team a few years back. I just don't see it happening here. Good Baker shows up. Mike Evans has a solid day. Rashad White has a solid day. Tampa's running backs have a solid day. Carolina Panthers might be the absolute worst team in the NFL at stopping the run. Tampa in a big one here. I'm going to go 31-10 Tampa. I'm going to feel good. Wow. 31-10. They're going to put it on these guys.
I like Tampa Bay to win as well. I don't know about 31-10. The big X factor for me is going to be Brian Burns. Can he put enough pressure on Baker Mayfield to do something silly?
He's got to be a game wrecker for that to happen. He's got to go game wrecker.
Yeah, I mean, but one of the worst pass defense, if not the worst pass defense, is Tampa Bay. But Young hasn't really done much with the ball. I mean, I know Adam Thielen's having a career and stuff like that, but a lot of things have to go right for Carolina, and a lot of things have to go wrong for Tampa Bay for Carolina to pull this off.
Adam Thielen's
having Tampa Bay winning 24-14.
Adam Thielen's going to have a very quiet day. I'm calling it now. He's going to have under 60 yards.
Wow. Okay.
I don't see Carolina having a chance in this. I think the pass rush is going to get to Bryce Young. I never thought Bryce Young was a number 1 pick. Just like I feel any other Alabama quarterback,
your boy Mac Jones.
I call him a bust when they draft. I said I don't know why they picked this guy in the first round anyway, even though it was at the bottom.
That dude is dumpster juice. He's
horrible. Bryce Young, like I said about Alabama quarterbacks, Tua's doing his thing, but I always say you have to put the best players around Alabama quarterbacks. Like if you look at Tua, he was struggling in Miami until they brought in Tyreek Hill. They had Waddle there, but they brought all these pieces around. Then he started doing that's Alabama. Bryce Young is going to struggle. I think David Tepper, this is his third coach in 4 years, not including the interim coaches that he fired, Steve Wilkes. He let Ben McAdoo go last year at the end of the year, which Ben McAdoo was making Sam Darnold look like the number one, like he was a top 5 quarterback the last 6 games of the season. But you let him go. You get rid of the whole coaching staff, a staff that got that team.
I got no love for Benny Mac, but I do feel bad for Steve Wilkes. Ben McAdoo could go fuck himself for the shit that he pulled up. For the shit that he pulled on Eli Manning. I got nothing against Geno Smith. Nothing at all. But that's not the guy that he should have got benched for when Davis Webb at the time was the project quarterback. Rant over, continue.
Right. But they let go Steve Wilkes, who got that team winning, which I always felt, even Giants fans said, I want Matt Rule. I said, Matt Rule is not a professional coach.
I can't believe he got hired for that job to begin with, Idris. I have no idea why they hired him.
And we had a lot of Giants fans that wanted him. I said, the guy coached at Baylor.
Yeah.
Baylor. His own quarterbacks couldn't even make it into the NFL. Mm-hmm. But why are you going to bring this coach? So anyway,
right.
I felt and I felt when they fired him, I said, okay, good move. Steve Wilkes got in there. I think he got shitted on in Arizona. He got 1 year and they sent him out the door.
They're another team that cannot hold on to a coach. That's a dysfunctional organization.
And with him, they brought in Steve Wilkes. He got that team playing. They started winning. They almost made the playoffs. And they were dead in the water.
Yeah, dude.
And Frank Reich, who got fired last year, the first quarterback to get fired in back-to-back seasons after their first year in NFL history, but you bring him in here, you fire him after 10 games, you fire the whole staff, Deuce Staley and everybody, they're going to get run tomorrow, man. I think Baker Mayfield's going to do pretty good. The defense is going to get
it would be a perfect start this week for a fantasy player that just needs a spot starter. In my case, Geno Smith came through for me.
Yeah, like me. But anyway, I'm calling. I seen Baker ball when he's ready to ball.
Yeah, well, he has his moments, and this is a game that you can have many moments against this competition. I'm
calling 30-14, man.
Wow.
Carolina be lucky to score twice.
Yeah, they be lucky to get to 14.
Well, the thing is with the Bucks is they're only a game out of first place in the South.
Right.
So they're not like just gonna roll over and die and think, it doesn't matter anymore. Like I think they're gonna come out. I think they have to come out.
Everybody with the exception of Carolina is still very much alive.
Absolutely.
In that very mediocre division. And another thing too that I want to mention, if these Saints receivers don't get healthy soon, you might see it redirect into Atlanta and Tampa with the Saints falling out because the Saints got some issues right now. I spoke about it on part 1 of this preview show, but they got some issues.
Yeah.
No Olave possibly this week. Thomas is Shaheed is banged up. Yeah, they got some issues.
All three, all three of those starting wide receivers are hurt right now.
And I got to say this, with all these injuries, how is Derek Carr going to improve?
Not. Dump it to Kamara.
Dump it some more to Kamara. Okay.
Yeah, the cameraman.
Sunday Night Football pits a Super Bowl I rematch, the original Super Bowl. The Green Bay Packers will be hosting the world champion Kansas City Chiefs. Gentlemen, quick question. Are these banners coming along on yours? Wow, it's wild. On my side, still not.
No, I still see Carolina on there on the bottom.
Let's see if I get this over here. There we go.
There we go.
All right. 8-3 Chiefs, 5-6 Green Bay Packers. The Packers, similar to the Rams, another team that has a shot to sneak into the NFC playoffs. The Chiefs look to start a winning streak and stay in play for the 1 seed. They are only a game behind the Baltimore Ravens right now. I have a feeling that this game could potentially be a defensive struggle although it features two very good quarterbacks. Green Bay doesn't get enough love for their defense because of their quarterback love, who is kind of back on the good graces of not only Matt LaFleur, but of the Packer faithful, as he's been playing very well.
Yeah.
Kind of making people feel that they did indeed make the right decision by allowing the legendary Aaron Rodgers to go to New York in a trade. I think the Packers did very well with that decision. As the Chiefs go, not the most tidy win over the Las Vegas Raiders. They had to come from behind, and then ultimately they distanced themselves. Chiefs also don't get enough credit for this. They are also a second-half team. What I like about this Chiefs team, though, when I think about what they could do in January into February, they could run the ball now, and they play stingy defense. Steve Spagnuolo, former Super Bowl champion 2 times over, once with the Giants, once with the Chiefs, doing a hell of a job as the coordinator. You're right. I forgot he was there for the first one. But just doing such an outstanding job with this defense. Offensively, they're going to have some days where they have to work a lot harder to score points because, last year they won the whole thing without Tyreek Hill. But this particular year, it looks more obvious that they do miss Tyreek Hill because you might have speed in the form of Sky Moore, speedy guys like a Kadarius Toney, but these dudes drop too many passes.
They can't catch, man.
They can't get open either, by the way.
They can't get open.
That's a solid point.
Separation not even playing anymore.
The one guy that can get open, he can't catch.
And
Valdez-Scantling.
Valdez-Scantling, yeah. Tell me about it. He should have caught that ball. And not to mention, Brett went on a little rant on a recent show.
What else?
He owns Travis Kelce and our Pops in the Cheddar and the Sun League. And I will say this, Travis Kelce is still a top 5 tight end in terms of fantasy value, probably top 3. But he's not having the typical Kelce year. They're winning more games than they lose.
A couple of games, to be fair.
He did miss a couple early. It's going to be – this is an interesting game. I do feel that there is a danger for the upset to go down, but I'm just going to say the way I feel, and I don't care who takes it which way. KC has a propensity for traveling with their own referees when things get a little tight. Yeah, I like the Kansas City Chiefs to win this thing. I'm going to go 24-22. A late field goal puts it out, and probably a couple of dubious penalties that set it up. I think the Packers are going to give them all they can handle, but I do believe that young Jordan Love makes a couple of mistakes that might ultimately bite the Packers in the rear. Packers are not going to make the playoffs this year, but I do like the direction that they're going in, and I think good days are ahead for the Green Bay Packers.
Basically, everything you said, I'll be brief with mine. I think Mahomes will come on. I think them receivers will start catching some passes because they are under fire. I mean, come on, guys. 26 drop passes? No, that doesn't work. But I'm going to go 27-17. I think the defense is going to get to Jordan Love, force him into a couple of turnovers. That's all I have. Chiefs 27-17.
I mentioned this on the previous show that I was on, that Green Bay is very young.
Yeah.
So that's why they were struggling so often, earlier in the season. It's now later in the season, and they're starting to show that everything takes time.
Yeah.
They're starting to mesh. They're coming together. However, they have Kansas City come to town. Probably not the right time for them to start or to keep, learning, feeling each other out. Very tough team defensively. I know it's home in Lambeau, but I do like Kansas City to win this one. I like them to win 27-17.
Yes, Miss E, they will be bringing their own referees.
I mean, listen, the Eagles have been hearing about it more lately, and I think the Chiefs are the fans and the team alike are like, yes, thank you guys, give us a break, because I'm not exactly one to go to bat for the New York Jets pretty much ever, but that was one of the most dubious calls of the season that I just really hated.
Oh, the Sauce Gardner call? Yeah, it was terrible.
I think it speaks on a bigger level of how horrible the officiating has been this year. But if there's one particular play this entire season that stands out to me, there's two actually. The Sauce Gardner play that went against him, Sauce is a number one corner, possibly the best in this league right now. He deserves that respect. I don't care how young he is. He deserves that respect. He's consistent like that. The other one, it should have been 2 penalties. You could have got roughing the passer. You definitely could have got a horse collar. Neither was called, and it was right in front of the referee.
Yeah. Right.
And Josh Allen is a superstar in this league.
Yeah, the shoe was ripped. Like you could just see it. It was
right at it. Right in front of the ref.
He was like, "Yo, look,
look at my jersey."
And the ref's like, "Yep, nothing." Okay.
And this is the same Philly team that played a Miami Dolphin team. How do you not get penalized once in a game, guys? Come on, not once in that Miami game.
Yeah.
And it's not about Eagle hatred, but the referees got to do a better job of us not questioning this shit the way we do. Because I always say this lately. I don't want to talk about the referees. I'd much rather talk about how Jalen Hurts led his team down the field, how Jason Kelsey had the wherewithal to take a shit in between halves. This is the shit I want to talk about after the regulation.
Love that.
Yeah. The 2 false starts, bro. Yeah, I guess. That's a big man.
Yeah.
I love that shit. It was like Manny being Manny taking a piss in the middle. He's in left field
for real.
at Fenway. He's like left and like, where the hell Manny go? There's no one in left field. I had to go. I had to use the restroom. He just left in the middle of the game just to pee. No big deal. If anybody hit the ball in that field, they were like, what?
Crazy, man.
So we're all in favor of the Chiefs here.
Yeah, I like Kansas City to go to Lambeau and win.
All right, that takes us down to Monday Night Football. Idris, I'm going to need you to pull this banner. I'm freezing up on this side.
All right, let's get the banner up here.
It is Week 13, Part 2 on your end.
Yeah. Week 13, come on.
Yeah, I cleaned out a lot of those banners. I gave us a little more space. There we go. I see it. Thank you, Idris. 5-6 Cincinnati Bengals at the Jacksonville Jaguars, 9-3. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence, to avoid the upset, just take care of the football, guys. Trust your running game. Trust your defense. While I do believe that Cincinnati's backup is actually one of the better backups in the league, I just think Jacksonville is super due for a statement home win. Because if there's anything to critique about this Jaguar season, is that they haven't played well at home.
Right.
They play well everywhere else. I've said this all season long, but this is a team that's looking at a potential 3 seed, possibly better. And
9-3, man.
It's not a good thing when you have a losing record at home. The Jaguars need to win this game for many reasons. Number one, if they beat the crap out of these guys, they are sending a statement to the league that we're not just a beneficiary of playing in the second weakest division in the NFL, the first being the other South.
Right.
That's not an indictment on Jacksonville. Doug Peterson is a damn good coach.
He is.
And Houston is on the rise. But those other 2 teams I wouldn't give you anything for, really. Indy is temporarily, accidentally in a playoff spot. That's going to change very soon. Cincinnati Bengals, it's a lost season at this juncture.
Yeah.
You got to hope almost that you finish like 5-12. I don't think they'll do that terribly, but when you consider the talent that they have on that roster going into next year, a healthy everybody comes back. You're drafting hopefully in the top 12, top 13. Cincinnati could make a run at it next year. I mean, this is a team 2 years removed from the Super Bowl. Last year lost in the last seconds of the AFC title game. This is a championship caliber team. That sometimes gets bailed out by their championship caliber quarterback that makes up for not the best O-line and some of the other deficiencies that team has. They don't have him right now. Quarterback-driven league. Jacksonville's going to win this thing. We'll go 31-17. I think the Bengals keep it respectable. But in the fourth quarter, I think Jacksonville pitches a shutout and puts their stamp on the victory.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I like Cincinnati with like 31-10. I really don't see them scoring much. I mean, Josh Allen on the defensive side of the ball is going to be coming. That Bengals offensive line just is not going to be able to withstand him. He couldn't protect Joe Burrow, and now you have the backup in there, dude. They're coming. And I think that ETN's going to have a phenomenal game. Like, I just think that they don't have to do much in order to win this game, just to be honest.
It's trap game city, though. And, Jacksonville.
I don't think so, though.
This is a statement.
I don't think so.
They got to make. They got to put their stamp on this one.
I think Jacksonville's got this easy. Go ahead, Idris.
No, I agree. I agree. But I'm going the other way. I'm going Cincinnati, man.
No way. Good for you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with Cincinnati, man. Jacksonville doesn't play good at home. It's for some reason they get in front of the home crowd, they just can't do it.
You kind of smell a letdown. Something weird's going to happen.
Yeah. If it was in Cincinnati, I'd be like Jacksonville. That's just the way I feel.
No shit.
And I think Jake Browning's he actually got some work in last week. He finally got a chance to start.
They feel comfortable with giving him full access to the playbook.
Yeah, so I think now that he has a whole week to really, chew the book up, he's seen the action. I think he'll be ready this time. But I think I just think it'll be, I'm going to call 27-24 Cincinnati. Especially if Washington wins today, Jake Brown will be hyped up because his alma mater won against Oregon 2 games this season. Go Huskies.
Look at you. Little tie-in right there. I like that.
Go Huskies.
Fellas, got a question for both of you.
Yeah.
NFC wildcards. 2 spots, 3 teams, possibly more than 3. Who's going to get it? We know that the Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles are the 5, and the other one's going to be either the 1 or the 2. Possibly the 3 if Detroit – I'm sorry, I don't see Detroit finishing better than either one of them. It's going to be – and I got news for you. Even if the 49ers beat the Eagles, even if the Eagles lose the rematch to Dallas, I still think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to end up being the 1 seed because I think down the stretch they got it just slightly a little better than the 49ers do. I mean,
they do. They play the Giants twice. Let's put it that way. The Niners got to play the Ravens, Seahawks.
Yeah, you said it, and it's the truth. They're going to kick our ass twice.
Easier schedule. They got an easier schedule.
They're going to kick our ass twice. I will not deny that.
I don't know. It's going to come down to Philly. Yeah. I guess Philly probably get the 1 seed because of the schedule going down the way.
Now, pertaining to 6 and 7, the back end of the playoffs.
Yeah, the 2 wild card teams that I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I think the Rams might sneak because of the fact that Seattle's kind of plummeting.
Yep. I got the Rams and I got the Vikings for those 2.
Vikings are worrying me after what I saw against the Bears.
I got the Vikings for one of them. I think that was a fluke game. Because those 4 interceptions, 3 of them were off tip passes. So,
but how do you score 3 points against the Bears?
I know, man.
Fair. That's fair.
I know.
That's fair. Every dog has its day, man.
Seattle did lose, but Seattle was able.
The 49ers lost to the Bears last year too.
Yeah, but that was in a monsoon, though, dude.
I understand, but dude, the 49ers were arguably the best team in the league last year. I know they lost to Philly, and I know they lost to the fucking Bears in the first game of the season. But man, any games for a reason. Any given Sunday, any of that stuff can happen.
I don't know who will be my 7th one, man. It's
there's still a lot to be decided.
That's a great question. The Packers could go in there.
They could, but I'm gonna go Seahawks and Rams. Rams as the 7.
I would go if I had to go right
3
now.
From the NFC West. Okay.
I would say the Vikings and the Seahawks.
Really? Well, Seattle's got a tough schedule coming up too, man. They
showed me something yesterday. They showed me something that I didn't expect.
I didn't agree with that, by the way. I agree with that. I thought they were going to get blown out.
That's a good loss. Geno Smith was very confident yesterday.
Yeah, I thought they were going to get blown out by Dallas.
Yeah,
I got to make a shout out. Sorry to interrupt you, Idris. I got to make a shout out to Deron Bland because what I liked about what he did yesterday is that he was getting his ass toasted early on by DK Metcalf.
Metcalf was smart.
He was able to mentally recover and still make some big plays. And that's not, and that says a lot about his maturity as a player. We talked about the Diggs injury and how this guy has ascended into being a big part of what they do.
Yeah.
But you said it too, Idris, with the scoop and scores. You said it. If they don't get them, what is the result? And that's going to be a question that Dallas undeniably has to answer moving forward.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going Seahawks and Vikings. Yeah.
Idris, the Seahawks also have to play the 49ers one more time. And they also have Philly coming to town.
They cannot beat the 49ers to save their lives.
I'm not guaranteeing any wins or losses there, but that's two potential losses right there.
That's true.
I don't know. I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like, but the Rams also have to play 49ers one more time as well.
Yeah, actually, it's just if I had to make a decision today, because
I get you.
That 7th spot, man.
That's what I mean.
I mean, last year, look at the
question to ask because, dude, let's not even throw the South out because they're right there at 6 and 7 anyway. So if they just start splitting games and everybody just keeps beating themselves up that are in the NFC West, that could just very well be like the Falcons sneaking in right behind like the Saints if they win the division.
I mean,
or vice
so look, mathematically, and I'm gonna get heat for this. The Giants are still in it.
Will you stop?
But they are though, but that also speaks to the parity in the league because you know why I get frustrated.
We need some humor, man. We need some humor, man.
The two losses, the 2 1-yard losses, the Jet game, the Bill game. That team is 6 and 6 right now. If they get 2 friggin' yards,
Richie, will you stop? Even if they made the playoff, they wouldn't belong there. Just like they didn't belong in the playoffs last year. They're not a good team.
But Shed, you're gonna tell me that the team you beat in round 1 last year belonged in the playoffs?
No. Wait, the Seahawks? The Seahawks are better than the Giants last year. Get out of here. I don't
know. My team won a playoff game last year. The Seahawks didn't. My team also got in the playoffs at a higher seed than the Seahawks last year. And my team was in the best division in the NFC last year.
Okay.
That was last year. This is this year. But I'm not even trying to defend the Giants right now. All I'm getting at is that it speaks on the parity in the league.
Yeah.
That you can be that egregiously terrible on offense.
Yeah.
And I laugh at, listen, I'm happy for Tommy DeVito, but I laugh at these fans that I'm like, guys, he played the worst O-line in the NFL on the opposite side, and then he played the worst quarterback. You're supposed to win those games by accident.
Right. Yeah. You know what? This is a certain Giants fan. You know who he is, Mr. Short Guy, who basically said DeVito was a better quarterback than Daniel Jones because he won even though he got sacked a bunch of times. I was like,
the stupidity is scary.
I don't think so.
AFC final wild cards, boys. I think the AFC offers a lot more at the back end than the NFC does right now. That's just my personal opinion. But the Raiders are still kind of hanging around. The Broncos definitely kind of hanging around.
5 straight.
Yeah, the Broncos. And you still have that caveat and that little mystery regarding the Jets. If they win that game this week.
No.
If Aaron Rodgers returns, I don't think the Jets are dead just yet. They win this week, they're 5 and 7.
No. You know what about the Jets?
9 and 8 can still get the Jets in.
Well, look, just imagine had Aaron Rodgers not got hurt. Look at how many games they were in.
Big difference.
They could have won.
But this is my thing, though. This is
100%.
Yeah.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
This is my thing, though.
The same thing that Eagles fans say to 49ers fans that, Brock Purdy, we had no quarterback.
This is my thing, though. In the back end of the NFC playoffs, AFC playoff picture, rather, those bottom teams are not keeping teams like the Jets out of contention. Buffalo's 6 and 6 right now. They're not maximizing their opportunities. Nope. The Browns are plummeting.
Yeah.
The Steelers are winning despite how bad their offense has been all season. How long is that going to sustain?
Right.
And now the Bengals basically fell out of it.
Well, Bengals are gone. They're done.
But the point to be made is that's the team that's currently ahead of the Jets.
I'd be surprised if the Browns still make the playoffs after all that, after how well they played all year.
If Rodgers comes back in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and if the Jets could somehow win this particular game, it's not out of the realm of possibility the Jets run the table with Rodgers back in there and finish out at 9 and 8.
Nope.
If they go 1-1 over the next 2 weeks, run the table, they're a 9 and 8 football team.
Nope.
Will that be good enough? I don't know. The Chargers aren't going to keep them out.
Chargers not making the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. There's still a lot of opportunity. With that 7th wild card, it keeps you alive longer.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of like with Shed on this.
I believe in the Broncos right now. I'll tell you that much.
I think they have a chance.
They also have the right amount of tiebreakers.
I don't think the Raiders are good enough. I don't think the Jets have. They're not mathematically eliminated, but no.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No, and I don't. Buffalo could be that 7th seed, and they could surprise some people, but I don't think so either. I think they've gone through too many injuries, and I think at some point, I think this last loss in Philly was a heartbreaker. It almost might be just demoralizing enough to just be like, we're done.
And on the other side, like I said,
what are we gonna do now? Like,
I was really close. I was really close to giving up on the Seattle Seahawks before I saw them play yesterday. And I actually think that the Seahawks probably still sneak in on that side. Like I said, Seahawks, Rams.
I don't know.
If Green Bay finds a way to win this weekend, Monday, I should say.
In Lambeau, but I don't know about Kansas City coming there. But Mahomes has never played there, so who knows?
It sucks that everybody has wanted that State Farm Bowl for so long when Rodgers was still a member of the Packers. And now even with the Jets, we still didn't get it. Right, because he got hurt. Yeah. So it's like, are we ever going to see Rodgers and Mahomes on the same field? I guess we just got to keep waiting.
Here comes Oregon, y'all.
But I like so the AFC wild cards. I mean, so I like Baltimore to be the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah.
I like Miami to be number 2. I like Kansas City to be 3, and I like Jacksonville to be 4, and then we got 5, 6, 7. So I like Pittsburgh to be 5. This is a great question to ask, because now there's so many teams right in that mix that could be 6 or 7, and it could be Buffalo, it could be Cleveland, it could be Detroit, it could be Houston. I mean,
I was going to say Houston.
It could even be
right now, Indy.
The Colts.
Right now, Indy is actually in the 6th spot, which is shocking. But I still don't believe in them.
No, I like Houston to be 6, and I'll take Denver at 7.
I'm going to flip those two. Denver ahead of Houston because they got the head-up win.
Yeah, same here.
Okay,
I'm going to flip those two. But I do like your Houston shout.
Yeah.
I do believe that Houston is going to do just enough to sneak in. Indy is the one that's going to fall out for real. And to your point, even though AP is doing a good job with the Raiders, I don't think they're good enough either. No. And I think Devontae Adams might be a member of the New York Jets next year. That's just
I agree with that. They're gonna sell the house to get him.
What if CJ Stroud takes this team to the playoffs? You got to give him Rookie of the Year.
I think he's already Rookie Offensive of the Year. I don't think there's anybody that's gonna. Bijan Robinson's there, but
not like he ain't there like him.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, this guy's picking a team. Yeah, Houston was supposed to be a dumpster fire for another year.
D'Amico Ryan's coming in there, changing that culture.
He changed everything.
Say what you want about that, or the 49ers coaches or whatever, but Mike McDaniel, look at what he did to Miami.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel surprised me. I didn't think he was going to have that effect in Miami. I got to shout him out, too. I really didn't see it. Everybody was very upset. Well, not everybody.
He's goofy, but man,
a good portion.
Yeah. He's like a computer hacker. Computer hacker.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like most people were very
he's awesome.
Questionable at best with their confidence when the team got rid of Brian Flores because he had the back-to-back winning seasons. But Mike McDaniel, with a third-string quarterback, almost got the W against Buffalo on the road in very cold weather. This year, Tua Tagovailoa, in my opinion, is going to either win the MVP or he's going to finish second. Right now, I think there's 3 guys in the mix. It's always going to be a quarterback, at least Hurts, Tua, Dak, right now.
Really? Not Mahomes?
I would put
I would not put Mahomes there right now.
I'll put Jackson in there.
You know what? Action Jackson, and I forgive me for this. I should have mentioned him, and maybe I'm as guilty as everybody else. Maybe I, too, am overlooking Baltimore.
I said that they're number 1 overall seed. That was my opinion, but yeah, I figured that they're playing.
You know what it is, bro?
The defense is legit.
No, the defense is legit. They finally arrived.
They're quiet, though. No one talks about them.
Last year they weren't, but I'm still questionable about how good are they really. They lost to the Browns. They lost to the Colts.
They also lost Mark Andrews for the year.
But they did beat the crap out of Detroit, and when it looked very impressive when they did
Seattle.
it. Since
Seattle.
then, yes, they did.
Yeah.
Since then, since then, the Lions had to claw to beat the Bears. They lost to the Packers on Thanksgiving on a national spotlight situation.
Yeah.
So
Detroit's not as good as people. They have a soft schedule.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you also factor in the fact that what's Detroit's best win this year? It's opening night against the Chiefs. No Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce that day.
Right.
Yeah,
and it was still close.
And they haven't played Minnesota yet. They have to play them 2 more times, just like the Giants have to play Philly 2 more times.
Right.
My point, they haven't played any. To your point, Richie, can you name a good team that they beat that's a playoff contender right now?
We're talking about the Lions?
Yes.
The Chiefs?
Besides the Chiefs, though. Besides them, is there anybody else that they beat that is like a playoff contender right now?
No. Not off the top of my brain. If I can't name them, it probably didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And they do look good. Dan Campbell changed that culture.
And I'm not trying to take a crap on them because you play.
Well, me either. I love Detroit. I love it.
Yeah, you play on your schedule, but they give me the Minnesota vibe of last year. Because a 13-win team is not supposed to lose to a 9-7-1 team. But that's what happened last year. Yeah. And this year, Detroit gives me that same kind of vibe, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. Dude, freaking they couldn't play the NFC South in the first round, but if they did, they might lose.
MVP, who is it?
Jalen Hurts. Right now.
Give me about a 30 to 45 second reason behind it, and then I'm gonna have Idris get at his. And I'm not giving you choices. You guys pick your own and sell me on it.
All right, so Jalen Hurts because the adversity. Just look at the last 5 weeks. The dude's been down and he comes back and wins every single week. The dude's making throws the throw last week when he threw the Chinook in the back of the end zone when he was scrambling to the left. I'm like, holy crap! Like, what a throw! Like, that was a dime. Like, he's just, and then obviously won the game with that scramble run at the end of the game in overtime. But the dude can just win. Like, he can win with his legs, he can win with his arm. The tush push, which is freaking highway robbery, as I'm sure everybody but Philadelphia Eagle fans will agree with. It's freaking highway robbery, but it is. I love it
too. I ain't gonna lie. I call the brotherly swerve though.
But it's Jalen Hurts right now for me.
Idris Salam, who's your guy?
Before I go into there, Michael Penix threw an interception. Ori got the ball. Bo Nix got the ball right back and threw an interception.
Damn, that's like that don't
back
happen.
Back to back. Back and forth.
Yeah, I'm going Hurts also for the reasons that Shed said. I mean, what can you say about a quarterback? Each time they're down, he brings them back, and he just remains calm the whole time. It's like
nothing happened.
And you never see him lose it on the field. He doesn't get hype. It's like
he's great.
Just get on the field and just play. And it's like he knows it's like another day at the office for him.
I'm going to tell you why, Dak.
He also keeps the team, the offense, to where, because you know how when you get behind and things are falling apart, some team members get mad and angry on the field. He's like, you just see them look like
you saw him with AJ Brown. You saw him with AJ Brown. But fellas, I'm sorry. That was a fumble in my eyes with the AJ Brown play. I don't want to keep going into it. I'm sorry, guys. I really think that was a fumble. But what really disturbed me is that a former referee who's not that far removed from the league was explaining all the reasons why it wasn't a fumble, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's not. This ain't my NFL when that's not a fumble. I don't even know how to explain that. I'm gonna go with Tua Tagovailoa. Because of the fact that the numbers might actually just be that staggering when it's all said and done. What works against Hurts is that while he is a dual threat, if we're going to the purity of what we really look for with the quarterback position, with throwing the ball, Dak has a leg on Hurts in that regard. But the reason that Dak has a thing that's going against him, but it's not like the Eagles are leaps and bounds ahead of the Cowboys. The Cowboys are still very much alive. If you guys beat the Eagles, and the Dallas Cowboys beat them, this could go down to the final week of the year. But the thing I'm getting at is what's going to hurt Dak in this is that they're in the same friggin' division. But I will be honest with you, it's Hurts. They got the best record in football. 22nd mark. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. It was a pleasure hanging with you boys tonight. Ryan Shad, Idris Salam, excellent job, fellas. This was a fun show. Enjoy your football Sunday and Monday, and we will be back soon talking about the assessment of quarterbacks as well as our college show. We out.
Do it.